Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. And today we're welcoming Lama Roger Walsh, and he's going to be reading and teaching today, and it'll be absolutely awesome. Lama Roger, it's all yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Let's take a moment to breathe. Now we've all got our technology working, and somehow, by some miracle, we're all together from across so many thousands of miles. Ah, so a few breaths. Actually, let's really do it. Let's really relax and get present. And I invite you to just take some slow, deep breaths. And breathe in and relax and let go. And as you breathe, notice that the inhalation is an active process, but the exhalation can be simply a letting go. So breathe in and let go. And you might want to notice that relaxation tends to spread through the body. And you might want to also have your back relatively erect, head relatively erect. And it's that combination of erect spine and just the rest of the body just relaxing around it that psychosomatically fosters the combination of relaxed alertness that we want. And notice something else, that with each breath, as you relax and just let the exhalation happen, if you do it with awareness, you just relax into the present moment. So you breathe in and let go, and you find yourself here. And sometimes it feels as though we have to struggle and work with the mind to really be present. And there are times that's true, but it's also really good to remember that if we simply relax, and it's particularly easy to do that on the out breath. So breathe in and let go and just fall into the present moment right here. Beautiful. And since it's Thanksgiving coming right up, let's get in the spirit of Thanksgiving and gratitude. And just first off, let's just be grateful for the miracle that we're here together. Somehow, by some miracle, the genius of umpteen people, the labor of many more, the bringing of materials from around the world. 5 continents went into these little computers we're looking at each other through. Innumerable people's work enabled us to be present today. And let's just take a moment to be grateful to them, because we literally could not be together today if not for the countless people who worked to create the components of our computers, to bring them to us, to manufacture them. And then think of all those people, probably literally tens of millions of people who were directly involved in the creation of these computers. And then think of all the people who fed them. And clothed them, because without that, they wouldn't have been able to do their work. And the people who brought them medicines and took care of them. And the people who created electricity for them to do their work. And the people who created the generators. And the people who fed them. And within just a couple of minutes of reflection, you realize that our sitting here is dependent on hundreds of millions of people, in fact, quite possibly most of the people on Earth. We are the beneficiaries of a boundless network of, of benefactors. In just a couple of minutes of reflection, we realize our lives, our being here, is dependent on a boundless network of people that encompasses most of the Earth. And if we think back, we realize that these computers, this internet we're using to be together, is the work of countless geniuses and engineers and electricians who made discoveries that through a technological chain of discovery going back centuries. And we can be grateful to our forebears, all the countless generations of our ancestors who lived and struggled and somehow managed to survive. If a single one of them had given up in the face of intense hardship or pain or suffering, we wouldn't be here. So there's a boundless network of people on Earth now who have made our being together possible. And there's a boundless network extending back in time without whom we wouldn't be here. And with just a few minutes of reflection, you've rediscovered the Buddhist principle of interdependent origination, that our being here is dependent on a boundless number of conditions and people and circumstances. And that we can feel grateful to all the countless people who enabled this. And we come to recognize that virtually everyone is a benefactor to us. And when you realize this, then you realize that gratitude need have no boundaries. And we've just done the practice of, or part of the practice of what's called reflecting on a free and well-favored life. Reflecting on all the things that have to happen before we can sit here and practice. And you just think about it for a moment, you realize there's a limitless number of things that have to come together. A limitless number of people we can be grateful to that we're just here and able to practice. And in this gratitude, just notice, let that feeling of gratitude be present, or whatever other experience is present. And just feel into it. What's it feel like? Where's it located in the body? Because every feeling has a somatic location and expression. And is there a particular kind of body posture that's associated with it? And just feel into it. What's the actual feeling of gratitude? And notice what gratitude does. It brings a joy. It brings a desire to share your well-being. Because the beauty of positive emotions like love and joy and gratitude is that you naturally want to share them. So recognize how wonderful it would be if everyone could appreciate this, could have the good fortune we do, and could experience gratitude. In fact, realize it would be really beautiful if everyone could have the highest good, could have as much good as possible. Why limit our aspiration for others? Which raises the question, well, what's the greatest good, the highest good that we could aspire to for people and ourselves? And clearly it would be being free of pain and sorrow, of being joyful, loving, calm, peaceful. And those, of course, are the qualities of an awakened mind. So with a moment's reflection, we realize that we're aspiring for awakening for all beings. And just out of a simple reflection, we've realized that the bodhisattva aspiration is something we naturally want. It's not something we have to force ourselves to have. It's what we actually most deeply want. We want people to be happy and joyful and awake. And how wonderful it would be to be the instruments for their joy and well-being and wakefulness. And with just a little reflection, you realize the bodhisattva aspiration makes total sense. It's like this is when we reflect, when we get in touch with what we really want, this is what we most deeply want. Anything else is putting a limit on the well-being we wish for ourselves and others. And the bodhisattva aspiration is simply the aspiration, this beautiful desire that everyone could have the fullest well-being and awakening, and that we could be instruments for their well-being and awakening. And now that we've realized that we actually really want the bodhisattva aspiration, maybe we can read it together. If Dari can bring it up for us. And so in English, in Buddha, Dharma, and supreme spiritual community, we go for refuge until fully enlightened by the power of all six perfections, from generosity to non-dual wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize Buddhahood. So we go for refuge, that is, who and what can we rely on in this very curious, mysterious life we've been given? Well, the best thing we can rely on is the awakened ones, their teachings, or the way Dharma also means the way things really are, and the community of people who've committed to these ideals. These are people we can trust. And so we look for guidance to these three entities, awakened beings, teachings on how to awaken, and a community of people committed to awakening. And we rely on them for guidance. And then we practice. We practice the very qualities we most deeply want. Qualities, the six qualities known as the six perfections in particular, of generosity, and qualities such as generosity and I'm trying to think of the right fresh word, zeal or energy and practice, and ethics, and meditation and non-dual wisdom, the wisdom that goes beyond the intellect's separation of things into dualities. And we do this for the sake of all beings. So we realize that this is actually just what we want. And we do it out of delight and joy, knowing that it's the most satisfying thing and worthy thing one can do with a human life. Isn't that incredible? I mean, all of us have spent a lot of time trying to figure out and feel into what's the best thing we can do with this one wild, precious life, this mysterious gift we've been given, this profoundly wonderful, challenging, incredible life we've been given, but for which we weren't given a guidebook. But fortunately, others have created guidebooks. And in our tradition, we have a lineage of guidebooks created by some of the greatest sages that have ever walked on the planet. So this is what they tell us is worth doing with a life. Waking up and helping others wake up. So let's, having read the Bodhisattva aspiration, now let's actually just make an aspiration, which may feel a little challenging, and that is an aspiration for Buddhahood, to become Buddhas. That is, to awaken as fully as we can and to cultivate our capacities for contributing to everyone's well-being, including ourselves, as fully as possible. So just take a moment and commit yourself to being to the fullest awakening that's possible for you and the fullest cultivation of all your benevolent qualities of joy and love and compassion and wisdom. You're not worrying at the moment whether you'll actually attain these. You're just setting the desire. This is the direction I want my life to go. This is perhaps the highest ideal the human mind has ever conceived. But there are skillful and unskillful ways of using ideals. If we use something like the Bodhisattva aspiration, this aspiration to awaken as much as we can and to contribute as much as we can, if we do that as a should, I've got to do this, it just creates more suffering. If we use it skillfully as an ideal, and a skillful use of ideals more like a pointer, it's like the North Star or a compass. That's the direction I want my life to go in. If we use the Bodhisattva aspiration in that way, then it's an inspiration rather than a burden. And now I invite you to think of, now that you've made that aspiration, not a vow, you're not vowing to achieve anything, you're just acknowledging this is what you want. You're aspiring to awaken as much as you can and to contribute as much as you can and to cultivate yourself as an instrument of service. And now I invite you to just take a moment to feel into what quality of heart or mind would best enable you to fulfill this aspiration? Is there some quality of heart or mind you feel would really enable you to be more effective in the world, to contribute as well as you'd like, to awaken as much as you'd like? What's the quality that you feel would really serve you? And now think of someone who exemplifies or embodies that quality. Could be someone you know, could be a teacher, could be an historical figure, even an archetype. So you're thinking of someone, visualizing someone who embodies that, exemplifies that quality. You're bringing it, and imagine that person in front of you. Now slowly bring that person closer and closer until your bodies merge. And you now embody and exemplify that quality. This quality is now one of your great strengths. And feel what it's like to embody that quality. To have this now as one of your great capacities, one of your great strengths. And notice the feeling of it. See if there's a body posture associated with it. And if there is, perhaps you want to exaggerate that body posture just a little as a way of really embodying that quality. Beautiful. And now, anytime you want to strengthen that quality in yourself, all you have to do is remember it and put your body in this posture, and it'll be there. So know that this quality is now a capacity you can call on and evoke at any time as a quality and a capacity that will enable you to do your bodhisattvic work in the world more effectively. Beautiful. And with this quality, let's just sit, and as we sit, this quality can settle into your being. There's nothing more you have to do with it at this moment. So let's come to our Trekchud or cutting through or sky gazing practice. And you might like to open your eyes and just allow yourself to be aware of the surroundings. Be aware of your body. Just open to the experience of your body. Be aware of the environment. now, for just a moment, I'm going to suggest you might like to close your eyes and just be aware, notice awareness filling your body. And notice the environment out there. And now, notice your body in awareness. Notice that your body is actually in the field of awareness. And notice that the environment is actually in your awareness too. Body floating in awareness, environment floating in awareness. And you've just got a taste of a unitive experience. Not separate from any of this. And in a moment, I'm going to suggest you open your eyes, but as you do, don't see if you can make a gentle transition so that you retain the awareness, you retain the sense of the body in awareness, and perhaps even the environment in awareness. And just when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And now just relax again as we did before, but with awareness. So you're opening to awareness. You have your back relatively straight and erect, and you're just relaxing. You can use the breath to relax. I sometimes say that our Trekchit or cutting through practice is just, if I had to describe it in a couple of words, it would be relax with awareness. Good. Alert, relaxed, aware. Okay. Now, what we want with our practice, our Dzogchen practice, we want relaxation, we want awareness, but we actually want a really alert kind of awareness, sometimes called awakened awareness, and at its peak, Rigpa. So this is like a crystalline, really sharp, alert awareness. So I'm going to now invite you to do something. I'm going to invite you to look at a particular object. Maybe just look at some object in the room, or wherever you are. Just look at an object, select an object. Now really look at it. Really look at it closely and see all the little details and pick out. Notice how alert you get when you're really looking. There's a difference between just casually looking and really looking. Now drop back into the awareness, but be really aware in the same way. Alert, energized, clear, present, really awake. This is awakened awareness. And that awakened awareness notices things. It cuts through illusions. It recognizes thoughts and feelings as they arise. It's extra clear, extra alert, a gentle but very precise energy to it. You're really alert, really awake. This is awakened awareness. This is what we want. It's that clarity, precision, sensitivity of awareness that is available to us. It's actually the real nature of awareness. When it's not clouded over by lethargy or just habitual patterns. This is what we want, and this takes us to freedom. It cuts through illusions. It stops thought chains. It dissolves painful emotions, destructive emotions. This is the healing panacea of awareness that this practice centers on. Alert, clear, really present, right now. Right now. Yes. Beautiful. Can you see how awakened awareness cuts through illusions and habitual patterns? It's like it's so precise and so here that it just cuts through things. This is cutting through. Good. And now just take a moment to relax. Really relax. Be aware. You don't have to be quite so precisely aware. Do it just take a moment, really relax. As we did at the beginning. So we're putting the parts of this practice session together. We're going back to the relaxation. We're not letting go of the awareness, but we're focusing on the relaxed element now. If you like, take some slow, deep breaths. And now come back to that hyper alert, awakened awareness. Keep the relaxation, but back to hyper alert. Not just kind of sort of aware, but really aware. Yes, present. And notice when you're really aware, awakened aware, how sharp things are, how you notice things, how it cuts through discursive thought and emotions that may tend to, when we're not aware, would just take us over. This awareness is the capacity that is the central tool and gift of this Dzogchen tradition. And what we increasingly discover as we sit in this intense, clear awareness that this is actually the nature of awareness. This is what awareness is really like when it's not encumbered by old thought patterns and illusions and emotions, etc. And the more we experience this, the more it becomes our way of being. And notice now, if I ask the question, just see what comes up. What are you? Don't go into your mind. Right now in your experience, what are you? And if you get into thoughts, you'll have a story that comes up. But experientially, right now, as you're alert, aware, clear, lucid, what are you? Well, that's what you are. Before the stories, before the memories, before the images and fantasies and narratives, this awareness is what we are. This is our true nature. And it's always present. We just get lost into our minds with its thoughts and its fantasies and its images and submerge this awareness, but it's always here. And at our deepest, truest nature, that's what we are. And it's not something you've just discovered. It's not something you have to take on faith. It's something you discover in your own experience. And just notice, feel outward. Can you find any limits to this awareness? It's like the sky, crystalline, clear, boundless. And if you do it, so feel out. See if you find a limit of any kind to your awareness. And it's possible you may find a sense of limitation to how far out your awareness goes or how encompassing it is. And if you do, just explore that and notice that that sense of limitation is also within awareness. So this is who we are. Boundless, sky-like, clear, lucid, present, alert, knowing, awareness. You've just discovered in your own experience your deepest nature. It wasn't so hard, was it? You can spend a lifetime looking for this, but actually it's always here. Ah, so now I invite you to remain with this open awareness and bring awareness also to include our community as we come back to a community focus. That is, don't jump back into your ordinary state. See if you can expand or extend the scope of your awareness to include our community. Now, this awareness, this lucid, bright awareness may now become the background or context for your experience as you focus now on the content of experience. But that awareness is always present. It's the medium in which we operate. Okay, so we covered a lot today. We started with relaxation. We moved into gratitude and a practice of free and well-favored life, recognizing our life, fortunate lives. And we effectively explored interdependent arising, that is the co-creation of ourselves and everyone by everyone. Okay. I like to call it omnideterminism. The traditional term is dependent origination. But omnideterminism shows that we all affect everyone and are affected by everyone. So we have a boundless network of benefactors. And then out of our gratitude and the feelings of well-being, we realized that, quite naturally, there's the desire, wouldn't it be even better if everyone could feel like this? Everyone could, and what's the highest good we could aspire to for people? And it's awakening, and we effectively rediscovered the bodhisattva aspiration for ourselves. And recognize the bodhisattva aspiration is not a sacrifice like all virtues. Virtues are enlightened self-interest. They're not sacrifices. Our culture thinks virtues, being virtuous, being ethical, kind, generous is a sacrifice, which is a tragedy that that's the way our culture thinks about things. It's actually virtues are enlightened self-interest. It's the best way of living for ourselves and others. We did the exemplar practice to cultivate a particular strengths, and then we recognized awareness, that everything is arising within awareness. The body arises, the environment arises within awareness, and then we honed awareness. We just really found that just by bringing an alertness and presence to our awareness, we can find how illumined and awake and alert and clear and precise it is. We discovered awakened awareness. And we discovered that that's who we really are, before the stories, before the thoughts and images and fantasies about who we are. In the case of mistaken identity, we all create, which we call an ego. We discovered our true nature as awareness. So we actually discovered in your own direct experience a lot of profound teachings. But notice we discovered them out of your own experience. It didn't take that much. You can spend years studying this stuff and futzing around in various practices, but it's actually not so hard to discover these. Of course, there's endless cultivation. We're all works in progress, but some of this stuff can be surprisingly simple. Okay, please, it's time for you. Please, if you'd like to share any experiences you had, any insights, it would be a gift to us all if there's an insight or experience that would be helpful for us all or would be helpful for you to share, or any questions, please.
If you are interested in asking Lama Roger a question or a comment, just go down to the reactions and raise your hand, and We'll let you in.
Stunned silence. Let's see.
Lama Roger, I have a question.
You do.
I do.
You are the other one who usually gives us the answers. Come on, man. We go to you to find out what am I meant to be doing? Well, what's happening here?
Do you find that if you expand your awareness and you become more aware, that the chaos in the world becomes more prevalent? I don't know if that's the word I want to use.
More pressing, more painful.
Yeah, more disturbing.
There's an interesting thing about awareness that as we become more aware, we notice pain more. That is, we notice some of the ways we've been shutting ourselves off from experiencing both personal conflicts and pains and the suffering of the world. And there's less reactivity. The recognition occurs within awareness, which awareness is not reactive. Awareness is like the sky. And we're used to focusing on the clouds, the stuff in the sky. But when if you're the sky, then the weather occurs in it and doesn't affect you. It's a little similar with heightened awareness. You become more aware of pain and suffering, and you become less reactive to it. So in a curious way, you feel more and suffer less. And that sounds paradoxical, but test it out for yourself. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Madeline.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
let's see. Edward, hi.
Yeah, I confess I was sort of preoccupied during your Dharma talk, but in any case, reporting last night, I guess I felt this amazing sort of heart opening like this morning and indescribable. And let's see, I had the body, speech, and mind. I think throughout my life I've been pretty good on body and speech, refraining from what destructive activities or something. But as far as mind, I've never really wished anybody ill, but I think that the hallmark of my personality kind of is resentment. It has been. And now I saw it, I said, well, can I let that go and watch that come up and just be, have goodwill, and when I saw that, it's like a sea change. And that and then I find, I feel so much better, better about myself, about people. They react so much better to me and everything. I mean, it was just so simple. And then but as far as this opening thing, I did put in the chat what I'd come across. Well, I'd come across this particular Rumi poem long ago, and I was recommending it to somebody on a Krishnamurti thing I was doing, but I'll try to, be concise here, but there's this incredible musician, singer I never heard of named David Darling. Maybe people know who he is. And of course, people know who Coleman Barks, the renowned translator of Rumi. But, this poem, it's not very long. Maybe I should just read it and, for people.
Well, if it can be really short, Edward, because we've only got, I think, 3 minutes left. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. This we have now is not imagination. This is not grief or joy, not a judging state or an elation or sadness. Those come and go. This is a presence that doesn't. What else could human beings want? When grapes turn to wine, they're wanting this. And this we have now. When the night sky pours by, it's really a crowd of beggars and they all want some of this. This that we are now created the body cell by cell, like bees building a honeycomb. The human body in the universe grew from this, not this from the universe and the human body. And this we have now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So in the chat, I mean, I really recommend hearing this incredible musician, singer, along with Coleman reciting. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Edwin. Yeah. Let's see. No one else, it looks like, and we're almost out of time. So, couple of things. I don't know if Dzogchen Foundation has any announcements, but let's see. I think I'm scheduled to lead this next week, and I think I will focus probably on how we respond skillfully, most effectively and skillfully from our Buddhist perspective in our particularly troubled world at this time with all the suffering and conflict going on. So I think that'll be the focus for next week probably. And of course, I just hope you all have a wonderful week and we're able to feel the incredible good fortune that we have in our lives in this sea of trouble that is our world, but somehow we are living lives of relative good fortune and well-being and grace. And may we be thankful for it, and may we be the instruments for the welfare and awakening of all. Wonderful to be with you. Thank you so much. A delight.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.